What's going on, Kansas City Chiefs fans? Your team is up next on my NFL season preview. One of the last two teams that we are doing here. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs last year finished 12-4, won the AFC West thanks to tiebreakers. They're also one of the best teams, in my opinion, in the AFC. Even led by Alex Smith, they're still one of the best teams. It'll be interesting to see what happens, though, this year. Alex Smith doesn't have a big arm. Plays safe. Doesn't turn the ball over, though, so that's good. That's very important for a quarterback in the NFL, not turning the ball over. They lost Spencer Ware in training camp. Their offensive line is suffering an injury at one of their guard spots, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see what they do on the offensive side of the ball. They drafted Patrick Mahomes, giving away next year's first-round pick for him. And I think to go from number 27 to number 10 in the draft, Andy Reid is a quarterback guru. He knows how to make these he develops quarterbacks. Look at what he did with Nick Foles. Look what he did with Kevin Kolb. I mean, he developed them, traded them for draft picks, and reaped the rewards. I mean, he's a smart quarterback coach. He's not even he's a smart quarterback guru, head coach, quarterback coach, whatever you want to call him. He's great at his job for getting quarterbacks and developing them and trading them. But yeah, I mean, I think Patrick Mahomes could start for this team, but I think he needs a full season of tutelage underneath Andy Reid, learning the game, working on his footwork and things like that, reading defenses. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. He's had a very solid preseason. You pair him with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, it'll be interesting to see. Speaking of those guys, those are two of their most explosive offensive players. They drafted Kareem Hunt, which was they're very thankful that they drafted him because of the Spencer Ware injury. Let Jamal Charles walk, who's been injured the last couple years. They brought in C.J. Spiller to be probably a running back, receiver, kick return specialist. And they brought in Gavin Escobar and nose tackle Benny Logan to replace Benny Logan replaced Dontari Poe. This team last year finished 12-4, like I said. And they had a great defense led by Eric Berry, who overcame very serious, I think he overcame cancer, if I'm correct. Yeah. He overcame cancer and he got paid this offseason. And yeah, I think he's one of the best safeties in the league, in my opinion. They have a legitimate lockdown corner in Marcus Peters. They have guys that can get out to the passer with Justin Houston, D Ford, and Tamba Hali. Tamba Hali is 34, so he might not be around much longer after this year, especially since D Ford got 10 sacks last year. The linebackers their middle linebackers are a little bit of a question mark, especially since Derrick Johnson suffered an ACL injury late last season, so he might not even be ready. He probably won't even get back to the explosive athletic ability that he's had for most of his career, especially being 34 years old and having an ACL injury at that age. It normally takes, look at some of these guys that have had ACL injuries, it normally takes, you can come back in 6 to 8 months, but it takes you that full year, maybe almost a year and a half to get back to your explosiveness. Now, Arrowhead is a tough place to play. It always is. Always has been. So if this team can get home field advantage in a playoff game, they have a shot at making noise. If not, it's tough. It's tough in the playoffs to go and play on the road, especially if you have to go to New England. You have to go to Pittsburgh. Hell, even having to go to Oakland is a tough place to play. I wouldn't say any of those AFC South teams have home field advantages because I think the AFC South is so bad. Houston normally makes playoffs for the AFC South. Houston and Indianapolis, I just don't think that those are big-time home field advantages. Now, looking at the Chiefs' schedule here, this is a team that plays the NFC East. They play the AFC East. And the Chiefs' two playoff games will be the Houston Texans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So overall, they'll have a pretty tough schedule with their place games because they finished in first last year, the NFC East games, and their own divisional games. The toughest team that they'll face out of the AFC East is obviously going to be the New England Patriots, who they play tomorrow night. Oh my God, I can't wait. But yeah, okay, so let's go ahead and jump into their schedule here. They start the season off tomorrow night against New England. It's a tough game. It's in New England. I'm gonna give that one to New England. I don't think Kansas City is ready for New England yet. Then they gotta go to Then they play Philadelphia in Kansas City. That's a win. At the Chargers, I think they'll beat the Chargers. Versus the Redskins, I think they could beat the Redskins. It's a Monday night game. That's a tough game, but it's in Kansas City, so I think they'll win. At Houston on Sunday night, that's also a tough game. Short week to prepare, so I'm gonna leave that one as a toss-up. Versus Pittsburgh, I think they'll lose to Pittsburgh. They lost to Pittsburgh in the playoffs last year. At Oakland, toss-up. Two best teams in this division. Versus Denver, they'll win. At Dallas, toss-up. Bye week. At the Giants, toss-up. I think they can beat the Giants, but it's still a toss-up because the Giants are probably one of the top 8 teams in the NFL too. Versus Buffalo, that's a win. At the Jets, that's a win. Versus Oakland, toss-up. Like I said, top 2 teams in the division. They'll probably split. Versus the Chargers, they could beat the Chargers, but the Chargers are a tough team. They know how to play these teams in the division, like I've said in their video. Versus the Dolphins here, that's a W. At Denver to end the season, that should be a W. Looking at this team's schedule, I think that they can finish as high as 12-4, and the lowest they'll be is 9-7. 9-7 includes fluky losses. I don't think they'll have fluky losses. I think that they'll probably finish 10-6, second in the division behind the Raiders. If they finish 12-4 or 11-5, they'll win their division. 12-4 guarantees a win in the division. 11-5 gives you a shot based upon tiebreakers. That's going to wrap it up for the Chiefs. The AFC West is just about done. The Oakland Raiders are up next. Oh my God, I can't believe, for people that have watched these videos, I can't believe that it's coming to an end. I'm probably going to do NFL reviews based upon key games that took place through the weekend. So I'm thinking about it. I don't know yet. I still have to prepare for the NBA season preview too, but that's later on. That's going to do it for the Chiefs. Raiders, y'all are up next. I can't wait. Football season is 24 hours away. Thanks for watching this video. I'm out.